Hi, everybody. Welcome to the WDW Travel Show. Hello, Aljon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I tell you,
Wonderful.
it all worked tonight. Last week we had that problem where we couldn't get the picture off, and tonight it was back where it needs to be. Hello, Kristen.
Hello.
Glad to have everybody with us tonight, whether you're watching us live or later on. We, of course, do this every Monday night, and we do this with a variety of friends. And glad to have you with us tonight. We're going to talk about limited time magic and Valentine's, and probably other little things that pop up here and there. But first, let's meet the usual cast of folk that are here. We'll start with Aljon.
Hello, Aljon Go, and I run JediMusketeer.com, a geeky site for Marvel, Disney, and of course Star Wars news. And we also have a show on the Sorcerer Radio Network at srsounds.com, which you can listen to for free to get your Disney fix. It's a lot of fun, and we invite everyone to come and listen to our radio station and related podcasts. And now we move over to the not so geeky but oh so pretty Kristen.
I'm Kristen Hetzel. I'm a travel agent with Magical Journeys, and I am all about Disney food. So I've been to all but 3 of the restaurants, so that is the thing I know a lot about. Over to you, Ed.
Are we ready to talk about your newest project yet, or are you still holding off on that?
Not yet. I have a few more pieces that need to be in place.
Okay, folks, you're going to like it, so hang loose with us. My name's Ed Owen. I do some Disney blogging. I also do travel at elotravel.com, and just recently am branched out in doing a lot of wholesale travel to Mexico, the Caribbean, Bahamas, anywhere down in there, including some charter flight stuff out of Nashville, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. So visit my website. It's right there all the time for you to see it. Luckily tonight, there's no hockey in Nashville, so we have Kristen with us tonight.
Yeah, but last night and tomorrow night there will be hockey.
Well, we're not worried about them. We're worried about tonight.
Yeah. Well, we have wrestling tonight, so we're missing out on wrestling in Nashville.
Oh, are they doing like Raw down there tonight?
Yeah, they're doing WWE Raw live right now. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, folks, if you're watching this through the Google, the Hangouts, G Plus Hangouts, if you go to our website, there is a page on there for live shows, and it's wdwtravelshow.com. And when you go to that page, you can watch it just like you are now, and there's a little chat window there where you can participate if you want to talk to or ask questions or whatever. And tonight's kind of a loose show because we're going to talk about some of the other shows that are coming up. We've got some really good things coming up here in the next few weeks and couple of months. But we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine. Tomorrow, or 2 days from now, is Valentine, 2 days from tomorrow. And then we'll talk about the limited time magic and just what is going on there. Anything in particular we should know about Valentine that goes on at Walt Disney World? I mean, I would think there are probably little red hearts everywhere. Anything else, food-wise or anything?
There are some, and right now Disney has tied this with the whole limited time magic. So they're doing a whole Valentine's week, and there are different dining options, which I can go through if you're interested.
Absolutely.
But starting today through the 17th, guests can take part in the limited time magic of sweet and savory specials for Valentine's Day. And I can start off at Walt Disney World. Some of the places are doing like that dinner for 2 kind of thing. Artist Point is one of them. They've got where you can get oysters, heirloom beets, cedar plank roasted king salmon, filet mignon, or crispy buttermilk dipped chicken. And then you get this chocolate indulgence that has strawberries on top. It looks so good. I want it. Over at Yachtsman's.
Here, Kristen.
Yes?
Here's what's really sad. You're talking about all this, and I have an empty bag of Nutter Butters here. That's all I have. And I'm sitting here listening to you talk about all these great desserts, and I have empty Nutter Butters.
Of course you do. Nothing like
Isn't that
snacking on
always
stuff.
the way?
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Let's see. Yachtsman Steakhouse, which is located over at Disney's Yacht Club. You have your choice of New York strip steak, filet mignon, twin lobster tails, Long Island duck, or butternut squash tortellini. And you can get, for an extra charge, champagne or Chardonnay to go with that. Over at Disney's Contemporary, the Wave of American Flavors, which of course features local flavors, has a butter poached lobster with Florida avocado heirloom tomato salad, which sounds so good.
Oh gosh.
I want that. I'm like, butter poached lobster, really? That just sounds so good.
I
You
also
could
have a can of Vienna sausage over here, if that'll help.
Not quite the same.
You're killing me. Go ahead.
Duck confit with Florida candied kumquats, ribeye steak, and to finish it off for dessert, citrus-infused truffle tort.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Wow.
Let's see. Also at the resorts, you have over at Disney's Caribbean Beach, Shutters is offering a conch chowder, seared ribeye with plantain and white sweet potato gratin. And for dessert, you get chocolate and strawberry sweetheart. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but chocolate and strawberry. That just, I don't think you can really go wrong with that.
Especially if you can get the chocolates on there and then maybe some of the white chocolate as well, like they do sometimes. It's kind of like double layered. It's really good
Yeah.
that way.
It is. This, oh gosh, this makes me want dessert now. Let's see. The Hollywood Brown Derby over at Disney's Hollywood Studios has colossal prawn stuffed with blue lump crab and filet mignon topped with Cabernet and shallot butter. So those are what's available over at Walt Disney World. But if you head out west, they also have options over there. Carnation Cafe for breakfast. Now this sounds good. For breakfast, you can get strawberry and chocolate chip pancakes.
Oh, yeah. Can you get them in Mickey form? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how those are coming. Probably, I would think probably not in the shape of Mickey. For lunch, they're offering roasted garlic shrimp pasta. Also over at Disneyland, you've got Plaza Inn with spicy glazed salmon with chipotle pineapple glaze, roasted golden and red beets, and mushroom quinoa. Cafe Orleans and Blue Bayou are also doing dinner for two options. At Cafe Orleans, they're doing a 3-course meal of surf and turf. And over at Blue Bayou, their 3-course includes a pork chop stuffed with boursin and collard greens served with a whole house-made spatzel.
Now, this is all in conjunction with the limited time magic and Valentine, or one or the other?
No, it's all wrapped together. They're doing the whole like Valentine's Day week. So it's, yes. I don't know. I guess it's a way for Disney to stretch out some of the specialty things they do. Because every year they do something, you know, there's like a special menu for Thanksgiving or a special menu for Valentine's Day. I guess it's just a way for them to carry that out even longer and kind of make it into a holiday week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just another way for them to actually make something, like Kristen said, just to make it an actual week or weeks. That way they can offer that merchandise and make a big deal out of it. I think that's what you're going to find with this limited time magic. In fact, we did discuss, I believe, on our WDW Tiki Room Source of Radio program with some of our Disneyland correspondents, the fact that this is very similar to a Disneyland promotion, family promotion that they did a couple of years back, where they pretty much highlighted all the holidays. And I think that you're going to find that this is going to be very similar. And I can only imagine, you know, limited time magic for St. Patrick's Day and limited time magic for President's Day and all that other stuff. So
they're calling it True Love Week.
yes, true.
That's what they're calling this limited time promotion.
How can you not be in love at Disney World?
Well, there are those.
Never mind.
No, I mean, like I said, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not, it's still a fun place to go. I know that, especially during the holidays, and then not just the holidays, but for Valentine's, there's constant reminders of couples and children and people and happiness. But how can you not go there and have a good time? That's what we're all here about. So,
Now, there's still more options.
Go ahead.
Over at Disney California Adventure, both Wine Country Trattoria and Carthay Circle Restaurant have options. Over at Wine Country, you could get 2 glasses of sparkling wine with chocolate-covered strawberries. You could just do that yourself. Go over there and get the 2 glasses of champagne and the strawberries all for yourself. Why not? Over at Carthay Circle, they have grilled filet mignon, or you can get sauteed wild sole steamed with tangerine, almond, grape, brown butter. And then if you want to dine at one of the resorts, Steakhouse 55, which is located over at Disneyland Hotel, they have a surf and turf menu where you get filet mignon and scallops with lobster mashed potatoes. Okay. I'm like, why are you putting... It sounds good, but I feel like you're ruining the lobster by putting it in mashed potatoes. Maybe that's just me.
It's kicked up mashed potatoes for sure.
I mean, all you really need with lobster is lobster and butter.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
That's
all you need.
Or it can go in bisque. I like lobster bisque. That's the only other way I like my lobster.
Well, we talked about, you brought up, Aljon, going to Disney World by yourself or being by yourself or not in a relationship. We have talked about doing a show down the road, solo travel for Disney. I have a friend that blogs about solo travel everywhere. She goes all over the world,
Sure.
By choice that way. And, I think if, I don't know that I've spent one day out of nearly a year at Disney World. I've spent one day by myself, and I just happen to be in the neighborhood. I don't know that's the way I would want to go all the time. I think you lose something with that.
Yeah, there is something to be said about a solo trip. It really depends on your agenda and what you want to accomplish and get out of your trip. I mean, it's your money after all.
Right.
So,
there's pros and cons of everything. So it depends on what you're wanting to get out of your trip.
So during limited time magic, we'll talk about it. We'll just kind of bounce around here a little bit. But limited time magic, they're bringing back a lot of things, a lot of characters, a lot of things like that, from what I read. Am I correct in that assumption?
Wasn't there a week of is it Long Lost Friends or something like that, where they bring back characters?
Well, they haven't released an entire schedule for the 2013 run of limited time magic. However, they did mention some things in regards to that in their press release right before the holidays of last year. And yes, they will have an area or time at the parks where they will be bringing back some characters that pretty much have been in the chiller, in the closet, if you will, or the Disney Vault, I guess they would like for you to see. You're seeing some right now on Ed's camera about the resurrecting 3 little pigs, something that I have never seen in the Disney parks except for in those videos, in those park videos. And I think, too, you can see, I think that's Robin Hood as well, which is awesome. Kristen and I don't think we've seen any Robin Hood characters other than, oh, gosh. Well, I know that it's been a long time. Maybe the King. I think we saw him, I think, at, gosh, I forgot what event it was. Maybe it was Halloween or something like that. Now, typically, meeting up with Geppetto and Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket, you can see them separately throughout the Disney parks because Kristen and we're character hunters, so we like to go and visit the characters and get, pictures with them, PhotoPass pictures with them. But it's very rare that you get all 3 of them together. And I think is that Scrooge McDuck?
Scrooge McDuck. All these pictures were from the press release or the initial announcement at DVC Parks.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck is also a very rare character. I mean, but the thing is that since they are not releasing the dates that they have planned for all of these different magic hours or the special events like this, like the older characters Resurrection Weekend or whatever they're doing, Resurrection Week, whatever they decide to name it. It's just difficult to plan a vacation around that. So it's just a happenstance. If you happen to be going that week or whatever week they happen to be there, I mean, wow, that's pretty cool that you're able to do that. So I would say your best way to find out what is going on would be visiting the Limited Time Magic, or just Googling Limited Time Magic, or searching for it, Limited Time Magic, the Disney Parks blog, and they do have a lot of that stuff posted on there. In fact, you can also hashtag, if you're a follower on Twitter, you can hashtag Limited Time Magic, and you can also see what other things are going on, and maybe even some special promotions that are going on from day to day. So that's just another option for you, so that you can follow the Limited Time Magic happenings at the Disney parks.
In the past, I mean, is this something they have done before, or is this something new?
They have done, like Kristen has said, they've celebrated holidays and they've made pretty big ado-s about them, but not necessarily in the way of having themed weeks. So this is, I think, for them, just another way to make bigger deals of those particular occasions and to have the themed merchandise available. Like, for example, available while supplies last, they will have February ear headbands. They've got this Minnie Mouse themed, really cute little headband, and they have a very limited window in which you can purchase that headband during the month of February. It is kind of Minnie Mouse, kind of Valentine's themed, different things. So once again, this is an opportunity for the Disney fans everywhere to check out and to purchase those limited time magic souvenirs. Also, that's something that's going on now for the next couple days is the Lunar New Year. I believe they're going to be celebrating that, I believe, at the Chinese Pavilion at Epcot, as well as the Disneyland Resort. And this is the Year of the Snake, so they've released special pins with Mulan, Mushu, Mickey, and Minnie in Chinese outfits with different activities and character greets going on at the parks, and special pins. I think one has got, what is that snake from the Jungle Book? I'm having a hard time remembering his name. But anyway.
We know who you're talking about.
The snake. Is it Ka? Ka, right?
Ka.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sure the fanboys will send me hate mail later. But Year of the Snake 2013, so that's what they have for special merchandise. So just another great way for them to have special merchandise for the Disney fans and to celebrate certain things. And it's another great excuse to have different costumes for the characters as well. I think the families, the kids, and the character hunters like Kristen and myself definitely will get a kick out of seeing Mickey, Minnie, and maybe some of the other characters around the park dressed up in something you don't normally see them dressed up as. So.
Now, you said you are character hunters. Do you keep like your pictures? Do you have like a library where you can go, and as I see you nodding your head, and it's like Kristen with her meals, you're trying to cover all the characters as well? Absolutely.
Kristen has got we have a terabyte hard drive dedicated basically for her pictures, and everything from food
3 terabytes?
I don't know how many terabytes it is.
I think it's 3 terabytes.
3 terabytes. Okay, fine. And so we have this massive hard drive for all of the pictures that we take, and they are definitely situated from resort to food to characters to special events and things of that nature. So yeah, I think it's just fun for us just to interact with the characters and get our pictures taken with them. I think that's part of our Disney experience, and I think a lot of families get a kick out of getting those pictures, especially around this time as the holidays and limited time magic and all those different holidays come around. I think it's just really cool to have your picture taken with the characters in their specific costumes that they don't normally wear. Because then, that automatically dates a picture. Oh, remember that? In 2013, we were there for St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day. It's very special.
By the way, Kristen, I wanted to ask you if you liked my little opening picture that I had up tonight for Valentine.
I do. Very cute.
Isn't that sweet?
Yes, it is.
I thought you would like that. So
that's very nice of Mickey.
And by the way, guys, while we are on here, I do want to say one thing that has absolutely nothing to do with this show, and that is tomorrow is my girlfriend Barbie's birthday. So
Oh,
say happy birthday to Barbie. So
happy birthday,
happy
Barbie!
birthday.
the real one, not the doll, the real doll.
That's probably a good thing you said that, because
That's right.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, yeah,
I could
he's
totally
got
go
a
there.
doll.
I
You
could
know, there
totally
was
go
a
there, Bob.
time when is Barbie? They're not still affiliated with Disney, are they? At one time, they were.
Oh, you never-
Really?
oh, yeah, sure they are.
Okay.
Mattel does a bunch of, in fact, the toy fair that's going on right now, the New York Toy Fair, they just announced a bunch of Mattel action figures and toys that are licensed through Disney. Barbie just happens to be one of them. Of course, they still handle a lot of the Disney Princesses collection, so you can get.
But there was a time you could see Barbie in the park.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. A lot of that has to do with Toy Story and the affiliation of those type of games, and Milton Bradley and whatever else Hasbro owns. They own just about everything now. So, yeah, definitely, you could see that.
Because I have a friend, a girl who used to work with me years ago, who was the character Barbie
Oh, very good.
in the park, and she got to ride in the parade on the back of a little Barbie, convertible. And I mean, it was really, really. She had some pictures of it. It was really cute. I wish I could find one of them.
Well, I'm sure with Toy Story 4 now in pre-production, you may be able to see Barbie once again on a float.
There you go. Well, speaking of, changing just for a second, just from the travel aspect, Royal Caribbean now is tied in with Barbie. Chris, I don't know if you've paid any attention to this, but you can now get on, as they move into their new phase, you can get Barbie cabins on eventually all Royal Caribbean ships, and they have a Barbie experience for little girls. So it's kind of like the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique thing, but it's at sea, with Barbie and a good way to up the cost and the experience for little girls. So,
Oh,
but that has
that'll be
nothing to
good.
do with Disney, so we can't talk about it.
Oh, well, sure. I mean, I think Royal Caribbean is also the cruise line that does the Shrek experience, too. Is that not correct, Ed?
That's right.
Huh.
By the way, you're talking about pictures kind of leads me into something that next week is a show that I have really looked forward to, and that's going to be photography at Disney World or at Disney or any theme park really, and we're going to have one of our friends who is a professional photographer come on. I'm sure we'll have some samples and just talk about that. I know you talked to him today, didn't you, Aljon?
Yeah, we're working out some things right now with him and maybe other special guests to chime in on this hangout. I think it's going to be great. I think that, once again, pictures are an integral part of your trip as you're planning, thinking about maybe utilizing the PhotoPass service or taking your own pictures. Either way, I think it's great to have that documentation. And right now, with everybody on Facebook and or Twitter, I think it's great to share those type of photos, and definitely something that you can share with the rest of your family who may not be able to come on a vacation with you. So pictures are very, very important to document your vacation. So.
Well, there are also, I know when I've been with people who know, and I don't know anything about photography other than just point and click pretty much, but there are certain places you want to go because they have designed the horizon, let's say, with certain things in front of them and things behind them that really make it stand out. And I think next week you will find out a lot about that, what you can do, to enhance your photographic experience. Now, Kristen, have you ever taken a picture other than food?
Yes. Yes, I have.
I know. I say that lovingly because
Uh-huh.
when you go eat with Kristen, you can't touch her food until she takes a picture of
That's very true.
it. But you
I'm
should
very
have just
patient.
about every dish at Disney World photographed by now, shouldn't you?
I wish. I have a lot, but no, not every dish. Not even close to every dish.
When you go to eat in one of the restaurants, do you encourage people to get things that you haven't photographed yet, so that so you can get the picture?
No, because that just wouldn't be right. If I, I could be. Well, no, I couldn't do that. I can't do that.
Well, you could.
Yeah, but you should eat what you enjoy. So I don't encourage anybody to go, hey, order this because I don't have a picture of that. I haven't had it.
You realize I'm just playing with you,
I
okay?
know, but people do things like that. There are people that do things like that. I'm not one of them, but I do order. If Aljon has picked something to order, I will.
Sound effects.
I will look into getting something different or something that I haven't had for that reason.
So you can
Which
get
also then kind of keeps you from sticking always to your favorite in, experimenting with food. So
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
In doing that, that brings up a question about food. Do you find that in certain parts of Disney World, and we're going to talk about better restaurants here, maybe the plating is done a little better, maybe the presentation is done a little better, or is it so mass done that it's just not that big a deal?
no, if I think certain restaurants you'll find a huge difference in plating. Fine dining restaurants, Disney signature restaurants there's so much put into those as far as presentation. They look beautiful, and especially desserts. I mean, their pastry chefs are amazing. So even if you don't like dessert, the presentation on the plates is beautiful. And some of them kind of play into the theming of where you are. Like for example, the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. Everything comes out in those little metal like skillet pots, as if you had cooked them on an open fire. So you've got that kind of stuff too that plays into it. And we recently were over at 50's Prime Time. We always sit at the bar at the Tune-In Lounge and order food there, but they now have changed some of the presentation of their food there as well. So,
of course, the one of the great presentations overall is at Whispering Canyon, where you can get in all kinds of trouble if you steal things, ketchup, and things like that. So you might want to check that out sometime too when you're there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Say the word, and you'll get you'll get put in your place for sure. But one thing I wanted to mention, Ed, is not only pictures that we're going to talk about next week, but just as a little bit of an aside, they're great places, romantic places for you to get your picture, and times that you need to get your picture taken if you're with that special someone, or you want to pop the question or do something really cool, as this is the Valentine's Day show. Something that Kristen and I did, and one of the cast members was just so spot on, was able to get a picture of Kristen and I right there on Main Street, just as the Mickey's show, that show that he has over there in the castle.
Right.
It's going on. Of course, now I'm losing all my geek cred because I forgot the name of it. But dreams come true. So when that is going on, right as the fireworks burst, the cast member knew exactly when that was going to happen. And when we were on Main Street getting our picture taken, she said, hold on one second, something cool's going to happen, and then I want you to kiss, or I want you to hold hands, or I want you to do this. And then like the fireworks just exploded from the castle right in the middle of our frame, and she took a few of those pictures. So if you time it just right, and you know what the schedule of events going on in the parks are, whether it be at the one of the 4 parks of Walt Disney World, or even Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, there's some pretty cool things that go on, and great places for you to get your picture taken. So just keep that in mind, because that will make for a very memorable photo for a couple. Or if you're planning to propose to that special someone, to time it just right so that it happens right there when the fireworks go off is just an amazing shot. And of course, a lot of people still get their picture taken at the castle during certain times, or maybe with a character meet and greet. I know that when Kristen and I were celebrating our anniversary at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we went over there by the animation courtyard. There are always a lot of different characters, but Sorcerer Mickey was there in his typical place with a backdrop and everything, and we were wearing our anniversary buttons. So it's just really important that you wear those buttons, or you wear your groom and bride cap, your mouse ears, so that the characters and the handlers know, hey, look, these people are celebrating something special. The characters will oftentimes do something to make that a really memorable photo, whether it is, holding your hands together or looking like, they're surprised that, you're asking that person to marry them or whatever the case is. And so it's a pretty good thing.
I'd take a pretty good picture too for a couple is maybe if you're up at the go up downtown, or when you first come in up above where the train tracks are, where you're looking down on Main Street, and get a picture, facing away with Main Street behind you down there, kind of at depth. If you have the right photographer and knows what they're doing, you can get a really nice shot there too.
You know what? It's great, as you said, Ed, when that happens. Typically when the park is not at capacity, when there is not a whole lot of people at the park, it's a great time for you to ask about certain poses and places to pose and great places to do other than your standard, let's do a setup pose. I mean, one day I think Kristen and I did a behind the back shot, and then we did like us staring at the castle together with our matching Mickey Mouse ears with our names embroidered on the back. So there are a lot of different romantic things that you can do in terms of pictures that people may not have thought about that would be excellent keepsakes for you. And
wait, stop. Should we not just save this for next week, because we've completely gone away from the topic and we're talking on next week's topic?
Well, a little bit of romance. Well, okay, let's reel it in. I do have something that's important in terms of this holiday, Valentine's Day, and it happens to do with the Disney Floral and Gift section. Does anyone want to hear about that?
I do.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ed.
That's a good topic, Aljon.
Well, people do not know. It's not widely known that Disney has their own floral and gift shop, creative gifts, custom floral, and event designs just for you. And you can visit DisneyFlorist.com for all that information. And in fact, if you click on it right now, you will go to Valentine's Day 14th, the February 14th, and look at all the different flower arrangements and gift sets that you can pick up for that special someone that can be delivered to your room at the Disney resorts, whether it be over there in Anaheim or Walt Disney World. So you can shop online, have it, or call, which is something that I like to do. So you can call locally at area code 407 WDW gift. So 407 WDW gift. And this one specifically for Lake Buena Vista over there in Florida, so just keep that in mind. But they've got different flower arrangements, gift bags, and gift baskets available starting at, I think, $59.95, which is really cool. Everything from mouse ears to personalized bags and clutch purses to, of course, your standard roses in a vase or chocolates. Or for Mickey, what they have is like From Mickey and Minnie with Love, which is like a total package with, pillows and champagne, which is a wish come true 2-day romantic experience. So just a bunch of different things, all, of different price points, just to make your special day even more special with that special someone. They've got this really cool thing, and it's expensive when they say, please call for price. So, yeah, you see Ed is right there with all of his...
Some Mickey chocolate. That little box of chocolates right there through Disney would cost you, $43 or something like that.
Well, they do have the Ears to You Valentine's Day adult special with the Mickey Mouse chocolate and ear hat for $61.95 on the website. So, yeah, you can definitely pick that up. Another thing you might want to consider if maybe that is not your route, because it is really cool to call the Disney florist and have that stuff delivered to your room as you check in. So when you go in, wow, there's this Disney dozen of roses for $99.95. She doesn't have to know that. But, it's really nice. It says that you went the extra mile. That's something that I've actually done myself, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's good. It's good. The flowers are great quality. The arrangements are great. Kristen can attest to the quality of the vases that they come in. And, in fact, I've even used them to order not just flowers, but also cheese and wine and or champagne. I think, Kristen, you and I even ordered, I ordered a charm bracelet for you at one point. So there are different ways that you can utilize that, and it comes in really, really handy, guys. So keep that in mind, and you should bookmark it, DisneyFlorist.com, and make good use out of it.
I think we've talked about in the past that I did several conventions at Disney World. I coordinated them, and when you do that, they utilize this in. If you are in charge of the convention, you get flowers and you get chocolates and things like that. And several times coming into the room, they would have fresh cut flowers and in Mickey vases, and these are all for you. I mean, you take them with you and all that. And I remember one time they had built a little castle out of chocolate, and it was the most unbelievable thing. You almost didn't want to eat it, but I took lots of pictures and then I ate it. So,
yeah.
But you're right, they do some incredible work down there, and it's right there on site.
Exactly, and not just for Valentine's Day. If you're celebrating anyone in your party, whether it's your child, grandparent, whoever, wanted to celebrate an anniversary or birthday or graduation or whatever, they're really keyed in to making that day special and having something that appears in your room. And they do a wonderful job, as Ed and Kristen and myself will attest to. So definitely keep in mind DisneyFlorist.com at 407 WDW gift, and that's a freebie, Disney. So feel free to hit me back up. With all of that stuff.
And by the way, also keep in mind, you don't have to be buying that for yourself. If you know someone that's going and you want to surprise them, and I've done this several times on the cruises when I've known somebody that's going, have a bottle of champagne in their room or some chocolates or whatever. You can do that, and it's ready when they get there. And the same thing with the at the hotels. So I mean, it's not just to be buying for yourself. You can really make somebody else's vacation a little better too, when you do stuff like that. So, all right, Christian, we're not going to talk about that stuff anymore. Let's talk about.
No, we got one more thing to talk about, Ed.
Okay.
What?
Well, not only do we have DisneyFlorist.com, but you can also call the Disneyland Dreammakers, okay, at 714-781-GIFT. And in particular, they have some really cool things going on in terms of charm bracelets, little jewelry, special celebrations in your resort room, delivering not just flowers, obviously, but also roses and champagne and all that too. So, other than that, you can book that wish a dream come true 2-day romantic experience and get all the little stuff there, not just from the floors, but you can also call the Disneyland Dreammakers at 714-781-GIFT, and that's over at the Disneyland Resort. Another thing I wanted to add real quick, which is also very romantic, is something that you can do over at the Port Orleans Resort. And once again, we can attest to how good this experience was because we did it. And Kristen, do you want to have at it this time?
No, I'll let you talk about it.
Okay.
This is your thing. You like to talk about things you can give people when it comes to. I do like to talk about it.
It's been a while since I've done anything romantic like this. It's because we haven't planned our trip during Valentine's Day, but maybe coming up, you would be able to book a nice carriage ride through the Port Orleans Resort, and all you have to do is get that number from Port Orleans, and I believe you can book that. And for a nominal fee, and it does change, I believe, according to availability, but you can call the Port Orleans Resort and schedule a carriage ride through the resort. And it's a great time. And what Kristen and I did was we actually called the resort and booked it. You have to pay in cash. And what we did, or what you ended up doing, is picking up a bottle of wine or champagne. I forgot which one. But we got some glasses and champagne at the gift shop, and right there we had the gentleman ready to go with a nice horse. We're able to take a nice carriage ride. He even opened the bottle, I think it was champagne, for us, and we're able to drink that and literally go around the perimeter of the resort and take a nice leisurely time. Now, there is a time where you take maybe a few minutes of a break while the horse recuperates, and it is a little bit arduous on the horse to do a 20-minute long carriage ride. But that said, I think the vibe is really cool, and it's a great and special experience for people that are looking to get a little bit romantic and maybe experience something that you would normally not have, especially around a Disney park, which is awesome. So
Aljon goes like the Cary Grant of Disney World, doing all this stuff. I mean, it's just pretty amazing.
It's fun because Kristen and I spend. This is what we spend our money on. this is how we spend it. We spend it on each other. We don't have any children currently, and I think it's just a good opportunity, regardless of whether you have a family or you're just starting out, to just kind of enjoy, sit back and relax, and instead of going all out and buying each other chocolates and jewelry and gifts, we buy those experiences because those are things that you can take with you. Um, and that's the way I see it. I think it's a lot of fun, and to this day, those are some of my favorite memories that I have, just celebrating our anniversary or whatever. And I think it's definitely something that still goes on, and hopefully our watchers, our viewers, can definitely take note of that and maybe try it, and maybe we can hear back from them and see how well it went. So.
Well, and also want to make sure that people realize there are those are all things that you do and you pay for. There's a million things you can do that cost nothing once you're there, other than being in the parks or being in the hotels. I mean, to me, there is nothing more romantic than walking around the Polynesian at night, with the torches going and the music, and you can see, Cinderella's castle and Magic Kingdom across the lagoon, or to sit out there in the sand and watch the barge show. Things like that, and that's one of hundreds of things you can do, and it's all in what you like and what you want to do, or even again, Polynesian's always been my favorite, to be in there in front of that all that water and everything, and inside the main house there, the main building, where they have all the greenery and the water's flowing and everything. There's tons of things you can do that don't require a cash carriage ride or wine or whatever. That those are additions too. So you've got anything like that? Maybe some freebies that stand out in your mind?
Well, in terms of freebies, I think nothing beats having a picnic. If you wanted to have a picnic at a resort of your choosing, Coronado Springs has got a great man-made beach. Same goes for the Polynesian. And pack up a lunch. Right, pack up a lunch, get some cheese, get some wine, maybe some crackers, and get your Disney blanket, your throw out that you got at the gift shop for $25, and spread it out over there.
$18.95 with your $40 purchase.
Thank you, Kristen. I knew you were going to chime in with that. So that is something that you don't have to pay for, and especially if you time it out at night, if the weather is great, which more oftentimes than not it will be. You can go at the Polynesian, time it with the fireworks, and just enjoy a good time with the fireworks. Another thing you might want to do is go over to Narcoossee's, and now, of course, you don't have to pay for dinner per se, but you can always get the view out there from the water that Chris and I always enjoy when we go out to Narcoossee's to have dinner. There are always people out there on the bay. I don't know how you call that, that little area there, so that they can see the fireworks. And fireworks are always great when you have a good vantage point like that. Or you can always book a pontoon boat and do the same thing, and of course you have to pay for that. But of course you can also pay for the big, as Ed alluded to, some of those Wishes cruises that you can do with private dining and things of that nature as well, things you may not have thought about. So you can definitely, get your romance on a little firework cruise, and they can range anywhere from, nearly $300 for up to 8 guests. But if you want to do private dining and things, of course, they can always accommodate, depending on what your requests are. So whatever your pocketbook, can muster, whether it's a nice free thing or limited budget, there's always something for you to do and enjoy at the Disney parks. A lot of fun. But picnics are great.
And also, you're talking about, I go back to the free, even just riding on one of the little boats at night, taking you from the Magic Kingdom to a hotel, that can be pretty romantic.
I think the key with that, Ed, especially, is, once again, making sure that people know that you are newlyweds, or that you're celebrating an anniversary, or that you're even celebrating Valentine's Day vacation week. And make sure that you're wearing the I am celebrating buttons, because that tells the cast members, hey, look, these people are by themselves, or obviously a couple. Maybe we can go out of our way to put them on a singular boat, on
or like Pirates, where you get
Pirates
the
of the Caribbean.
Yourself. Yeah,
exactly right. A lot of cast members, especially the veterans that know how to treat guests, and a lot of them do, will say, oh, they'll see that and go, wow, these people are celebrating something romantic for Valentine's Day. if it's not busy, definitely they'll put you in on your own single boat for those boat rides, or they'll put you in, your own ride vehicle so that you guys can experience the ride without anybody else on it, which is really nice.
Now, I want to know why does a young couple celebrating need their own boat at Pirates of the Caribbean? We're not expecting any hanky-panky, are we?
Oh, of course not, because they can see everything. Are you kidding me? You know that around every corner at Disney World or at the Disney parks in general, they can definitely see what's going on.
Why you would need that is so you don't have the family on your boat with the pictures and the constant flash or the kids yelling or any of that stuff. That way you get to enjoy the experience of the ride without distractions.
Wow, well put, Kristen.
I will say one thing. If you're going to go, and this could be for families, this could be for couples, could be for anything, establish a tradition or two that kind of gets you going, I mean, for many years what we did when I was going was our first night there, we would always go to Chef Mickey's, and that was just a tradition for us. It was like, we're here, we're going to Chef Mickey's, we're going to see the characters, and have garlic mashed potatoes, and that was the big deal. We wanted garlic mashed potatoes. And, it's like when we got there and had Chef Mickey's, it's like, okay, we're at Disney World now, And so whatever it may be going up on top of the Contemporary and just, looking around, or it may be, walking around the beach or whatever. But make something that kind of, is your special thing that you want to do.
Yeah, and talk with that special someone, unless, of course, you're surprising them and want to capture that on film and put it on YouTube for Disney to steal for their next marketing campaign, But talk it over. It's great to plan. Kristen and I have a blast planning these things. Kristen is the planner, and I pretty much go, maybe I'm not into this restaurant so much. We can do that one. Our tradition, because of her being a foodie and wanting to experience different things, is always about trying new restaurants and maybe doing a wine tasting or doing, a new experience at a restaurant. And that's always adventurous for us, and that's something that we do every time we go. So.
Another thing is, as you guys were talking about, Ed's, what can you do that's free, that's romantic? I think one of the most romantic but overlooked for being romantic resorts is the Animal Kingdom. Because at night they have those fire pits that you can sit around the fire pit and there's nobody ever out there. We've only I think been out there once where there was somebody else. And you can see the animals roaming and that kind of stuff. That it's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful. That's another romantic thing you could do. And for a few bucks, you can go up to the lounge, grab a couple drinks, and take it outside and enjoy that.
And there's and you guys were talking a few weeks ago about they have those night vision goggles or something there where you can watch the animals. Is that right?
Yeah.
You just have to know who to find to get those?
Yeah, I want to say it's over. Is it at Kidani, Aljon? Do you remember which one it is?
I believe you're right. And it's I think Kidani is the closest to where the animals actually go in and out for their food, and they're able to go back on the reserve and things. So,
whichever resort it is, if you go down back on the back side of the resort, go out the back doors, down there'll be a cast member, and just find somebody, or you can ask at check-in. They'll be able to tell you, where you go to check out the animals with the night vision goggles.
Mm-hmm. Anything else about limited time magic? I mean, like you said, they haven't announced a whole lot about it. You are going to be able to see characters. There are going to be special things being done for limited time. Anything else you want to throw in on that?
No, unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of information regarding the upcoming events for limited time magic. They're holding that very close to the vest, which I think is, I don't know. I'm not really down with that. I wish they would put out a few other things and leak maybe this is what's going on this quarter, and maybe just go from there. I think that would help a lot.
Make it so much easier, and I would think you would find more people wanting to make more trips if they knew in 5 weeks from now that it was going to be something in particular was going on that week, you might find more people making short trips or weekend trips or long weekend trips in order to like catch some of these things that Disney's doing. But it's kind of hard when they announce it the week before that this is what's going on. You're kind of like, well, I can't take off from work with a day's notice. So I wish they would have released a little bit farther in advance than what they're doing instead of the week before.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we would definitely, I think, make the trip down if we knew in advance. And, oh well, what are you going to do?
Well, do you think they will at some point come up with what they're going to do the rest of the year? I mean, if they've got to at some point, or are they just going to do these little spurts of things when they announce them?
Well, being that is already, a couple weeks into February, you would think that they would have that stuff happening. So I don't think they will. I think they're just going to continue to roll along and have status quo, and so be it. And it's a little disappointing because you want, as a Disney fan or just in general, you just want to plan. You're all about planning. Oh, we can set aside X amount of dollars and go this weekend for a few days, then drive back or fly back or whatever the case is. And they're just not making that. Maybe what people can do is go to the Disney Parks blog and post to the rest of the social media department and on that limited time magic and say, look, it'd be nice. We'd like to go several times as being pass holders, but we're not local. And I think that Disney loses track that limited time magic specifically, I think, is designed for locals that have annual passes, that they're going to come in, and it's going to be maybe a 2-hour drive for them to just come to the park and stay for a day or two. But diehard fans like us will drive 10 to 12 hours from wherever we are or fly in order to take advantage of some of these cool things. Because if you're a character hunter, there's no other time to go to get your picture with Meg from Hercules or for the cast of Robin Hood. You never know when you're going to see them again, and that's a shame. People should know in advance.
Let's talk about some of the other, we talked about future shows. Next week, we're going to talk about photography, and I think you're going to probably get tips, if you've got a very simple digital camera like myself, or if you've got a thousands of dollar, Canon or Nikon or one of those fancy cameras. I think you're going to learn some things next week that will really help you in your photography. You guys agree?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I don't think you can ever not learn something new when it comes to photography. And there's so much stuff at Disney to take pictures of that some piece of information you'll find to be of benefit. Sure.
And I'm sure we'll not only touch on that, but we'll probably touch on PhotoPass and maybe head on some PhotoPass tips as well, because if you're not a professional photographer or want some pictures with you in it, there's a lot of value and reasons to get that, and it may not be for you, but it's definitely a value to a lot of people. I know we've used it in the past, so and especially the guests that we have booked for that show, it'll be great if they're able to make it, and we'll be able to have a really good discussion about what all this means. So.
Well, and also I know that I know some of the people that are going to be here that they actually get together as a group just to take pictures, and do week-long trips where they share their knowledge and take lots of pictures, and hopefully we'll have a lot of examples to show you next week. And then 2 weeks from now, Kristen has hockey or something. Well, you're doing something, Kristen. I assume it's hockey.
It's hockey. It's hockey.
Okay. So we're going to have the WDW Travel Show Man Show.
Man.
All guys. So we're not
scary.
gonna do what?
Scary.
It is kind of scary. No female influence allowed that night. There's no telling what we'll get into. Kristen, are you sure?
I'm whatever.
Can't you use your phone from the hockey match and join us for a minute?
I might be able to do so.
That would be cool if you could do that during one of the intermissions or something.
I'll see if I can do that.
She's never going to think twice again about doing that.
Exactly.
And then we go into March, and on March 4th, and by the way, these are all listed on the website, wdwtravelshow.com. March 4th, we're going to start again. It's time for Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Of course, we did find out last week. I don't know if we did. Was it during the show last week that we found out that when you guys go, Mickey Thomas is going to be at Disney World again? That's an ongoing joke, folks. If you don't understand it,
I swear I'm gonna just pull up a bunch of Starship music and just play it randomly through the program. It'll be fun.
No.
Kristen has a thing. I'm going to get that shirt, by the way. Then on March 11th, we're going to do a special show on cruises, on cruise tips, all of that, talk about that some. March 18th, Disney weddings and honeymoons. And I think one of the things we're going to touch base on here is how to get married at Disney World, and maybe circumvent the system a little bit, because nobody's going to stop you from going out there on the beach at one of the hotels with the Magic Kingdom in the background and having somebody stand there and say, "Hey, I now pronounce you man and wife," and you take some pictures. I don't think they can do that. I don't think it's smart if they do. Now, is that
if you decide you're going to set up chairs?
Yeah, that might be a bit
on the beach. And you're going to have guests. Well, then you're going to have a problem with Disney.
Exactly.
But if you're kind of doing the eloping kind of idea, then yeah.
Yeah, a couple of you guys go on the beach and get your vows exchanged, and then go to Ohana for a nice dinner, and then off you are to the races. You're in your honeymoon phase, and bam, there you go. So
now, if we're talking about Ohana afterward, I will marry them.
Barb, did you hear that?
No. I said I will marry. I can marry them because I have. Remember, I have the official. I'm a monk. I can do that.
Well, I told you, Ed. You know what? Kristen and I will be celebrating this September our 10-year anniversary. So we're going to have you come down, and we can renew our vows right there over at the Polynesian or over at wherever we are. So
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do like guerrilla weddings, and just show up someplace and marry people where they don't want you to, and then rush off. It's kind of like a flash mom.
Well, you know that there was this viral video that leaked this week about somebody that went to different restaurants. It wasn't Disney related, but I believe they went to different they went to different restaurants and places where this gentleman asked to propose to this girl at various places, the same couple, and what people's reactions were, and if they did it at restaurants, and people will say, "Oh, we'll buy you dinner." And I'm like, wow, what a scam. That's like a perfect scam. We should do that at Disney Park and go to Ohana, and then I'll pop the question to Kristen, and bam, there we go. Someone will go, "Oh, that's great. Let me buy you guys drinks." I'm like, yeah, you will.
This is why I like you so much, Aljan. Man after my own heart.
You know what? It's funny because I guarantee you, if we're videotaping this and we're putting this online, no one else will fall for it after that, really. But, it would just be interesting to see the background and people in the background and how they react, because there's nothing better than doing those type of reactionary, videos. Those people in the background are so great. So I think maybe Chris and I will have this fake engagement going on, at our next.
Here we have given it away now, months ahead of time. It's going to be like that guy that was sneaking in all those places. You're going to show up for that trip, and they're going to meet you at the gate and say, "Now, don't you be doing,
Don't you do it." All the cast members will be alerted. Look at these couples and this couple there. Don't give them any free meals.
I'm gonna get a fake beard, and put it on, and they won't know who I am. Coming up March 25th, we're going to have Natalie here, and Natalie's Ways to Save. Kristen, tell us a little bit about that.
She's got a book. Natalie's an accountant, so of course she's really good with the finances and all of that. But
Strategies she's got a book for Disney
that lets people know ways to save money and pay for your vacation.
Mm-hmm. So she'll be with us on the 25th, and then we'll make some more announcements about future shows, after that. So I think we got several things that kind of are in the works. So what else, guys? You want to talk about anything else before we go tonight?
Oh, just really quick. Our radio station, Kristen and I are DJs on Sorcerer Radio. We happen to be turning 12 years old. The station has been going on for many years, delivering Disney music, and we'd like people to tune in starting next Monday as we introduce our brand new schedule with Extra Magic Hour, so people can listen to our hosted shows during their drive home, and it'll make great entertainment for people on our West Coast. And I think that was definitely in reaction to how many people listen to us on the West Coast now as we branched out. And right now we're on a phenomenal roll, being the #1 radio station on Live 365. So we appreciate everyone listening and tweeting and telling their friends about our free apps at Sorcerer Radio. And so I couldn't be happier. And of course, different coverage we have coming up. We have the New York Toy Fair going on right now, so we have our correspondent down there or up there in New York talking about all the latest Disney toys, collectibles from Marvel and Star Wars as well. And I think we'll also be doing something for Star Wars weekends in the near future. So be looking out for all of those events on Sorcerer Radio's website at srsounds.com or JennyMouseketeer.com or anywhere else geeky.
And support the sponsors on all these websites. And by the way, I need to talk to you because I think a friend of mine bought something from a sponsor on your website today. I want to make sure you get credit for it. So
Great, awesome.
I'll tell you about that a little bit later on.
Great, thanks. Kristen, do you have anything you want to plug? Other than your website?
I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that I need to mention. I had an idea and I forgot it. So.
Well, don't forget you can listen.
No, but you know what? I do have one thing.
Okay.
Is the people on the West Coast this week, if you have the ability to box up a cupcake for me, I want the Valentine's cupcake they've got going on. It's only available out there, though.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a chocolate
You can
cupcake.
have Nutter Butters?
It's a chocolate cupcake, and I love raspberry. It's filled with raspberry mousse, and then they put dark chocolate mousse frosting on it, and then they dip it in chocolate again. And it's got chocolate, strawberries, and a little rosebud on top.
I just
Does
don't
that not sound good?
I don't think it would travel very well, though,
There's got to be a way to ship that.
Well, the easier way is for you just to go out there and pick one up.
That would cost a lot more than having a cupcake sent to me.
Well, okay. I'm sure we can find somebody to ship you a cupcake. I just don't think it's going to look very good when you get it and open it.
But think, if I were to take a flight out there just to get a cupcake and then fly back, somebody would have me admitted for being completely crazy.
You think it's going to take that?
Not nice.
No, I say that about any of our friends who are Disney fanatics. People would probably want to commit them. So
if money was no object, of course we'd fly the entire crew out there to grab a bunch of cupcakes and spend the entire week over there. But you know what? If any one of the West Coast correspondents would just box it up and ship it over, it'll probably be the squishiest cupcake you'd ever have. But Kristen, as soon as she gets it, she's going to devour it, and that raspberry gooey inside, she's going to totally eat it up and she's going to love it. So just do it. Do it for us. Do it for you.
What?
I don't know why. Just do something good.
Hey, Kristen, I can't talk about crazy. I'm the guy that flew to Chicago one night on Southwest to get enough points so that I could get a free flight to go to the coast about 3 weeks later. So I flew to Chicago, had barbecue at Midway Airport, turned around and flew back to Nashville to get my final points.
Holy smokes.
But
that...
I didn't know if I told you that story or not, but
No, wow, that's pretty intense.
well, it was going to cost to go to. I don't know if I was going to L.A. or I was going to Vegas or something. It was going to cost about $400 or $500 for that ticket, but by spending like $79 on a round trip ticket to Chicago, I was able to finish it out and get that ticket free. So
that's smart. That's smart. I typically make enough flights on a weekly basis to keep up with that, but no, you're definitely right on, man. I have to check and make sure I keep my status. So,
but it was just like one day I was sitting there one morning. I said, but if I do this, and it was like a day of the flight event, and I called home and said, I won't be home for dinner. I'm in Chicago. Why? And when I told, well, that's okay then. So, well, that was it. Well, next week you're going to learn all about photography, folks. So. it's going to be fun. And of course, all the shows, all our back shows are on the website, and we're hoping that sometime in the near future we're going to get to see all you guys. I know you guys are going to make another trip pretty soon. Maybe one of these days, maybe I'll get to go with you. So we're talking about that as well.
Love that. It'd be a lot of fun. So
yep.
Tell all your friends about the show and watch us on YouTube on the archive shows there at WDWTravelShow.com. And it's always a pleasure.
And all the pictures will be posted there and much, much more. So say goodnight, Kristen.
Good night, Kristen.
I should have known it was coming. Aljon, we will talk to you later.
Good night.
All right, now can I say good night, Aljon?
Good night, Aljon.
Good night, Ed. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.